world. Now then crew, welcome back to the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel, and this is another video on Toolgirl Sarah's GSXR750 of the 1999 vintage. And in the last video we replaced the steering head bearings, and it's a really good job that we did because we found some pitting in the outer race and the inner race of the lower bearing. So in this video, according to Sarah's list, we've done the head bearings. We've now got to replace the front left-hand brake disc. Now, sure, you're going to say to me, hey Andy, you should always replace brake discs in pairs. You are quite correct. But these brake discs, first of all, are about $330 each. Very expensive, that's New Zealand. And obviously the budget is pretty small. We haven't got a lot of money to play around with. And secondly, the brake discs themselves are almost brand new. The only reason why we're replacing the left-hand front is because it got bent in an accident when the bike fell off a hoist back in Canada. So you're going to have to forgive me on this one. Under the circumstances, we can only change the one disc. Now, I haven't refitted the front wheel. That's already still out, as is the front mudguard, and there's a few other bits and pieces that I've left off that I removed to do the head bearings. They'll all get put back on at some point, but the front wheel is already loose. If you want to see how to remove the front wheel, check out the head bearing replacement video. In this video you'll see me refit the wheel, so you'll get all the torque settings and stuff. Now, the disc itself came from a New Zealand supplier, and it's that one there, look, and the part number is DRF307, and that's a Tormax disc. And it looks almost the same as the other one, so it shouldn't be too bad. So we've got the disc, and it's a floating type disc. It's got the little rivets in there. Look, you can see there. Look, that help with heat dispersion and stuff. And what else do we get? Well, we did actually, obviously, get some new brake pads. Now the old pads aren't too bad, but we're fitting a brand new disc, so really we should be replacing the brake pads, and that will also help to even up the braking on those two discs as well. We've got some Ferrado brake discs for both, brake pads for both sides. Plenty of work to do, and I'll do a video on fitting the brake pads as a separate video. So this video is just replacing the brake disc itself and reinstalling the wheel. Okay, well, here we go. Okay, so we've got the front wheel out. It's already out, and we popped it on some cardboard so we don't damage the other disc. And we need to free off these retaining bolts. Now they look like they're captive. There's no nuts on the inside by the looks of it. Now they could be pretty tight, and they should have thread lock on them too. So there's one. Okay, we'll crack them all off first. God, imagine rounding one of these off. It'd be a real pain getting it out, wouldn't it? This is a number 6mm Allen key socket. There we go. We can whiz those out now. Okay, yeah, there you go, look, thread lock. These are probably the original, well, they probably aren't the original discs actually, because they're hardly worn. And these bikes tend to munch through these discs pretty quick. Riders tend to ride them pretty hard, usually. I'm sure Sarah's no different. There we go. Almost there. Super job. Right. Okay, one very bent brake disc. Jeez. Okay, time for the new one. Like that. Ta-da! Cool. Well, I'll give it a clean once it's on, because there's always a bit of a film residue on there. Stop them from corroding. That should go onto there, look. Let's get the old one, make sure it's the right size. Oh yeah. Perfect. Just a very slightly different web. Good job. Okay, we're going to need some new thread lock. Right, so the thread lock I like to use is the Loctite 222, which is pretty strong stuff actually, but it means you don't have to carry loads of different types. This is more of a permanent, but I mean, let's face it, how often do you change the brake discs? And the last thing I want is that brake disc coming loose. It's not good. Okay, we need a torque setting. Let me find the torque setting for you. I did some printing out stuff this morning, and we've got the diagram of the front wheel there, look. And B is the code for that bolt, and it should be, there look, so B is, doing it all backwards, there. We look down here, B is 23 Newton meters. Easy, we can do that. Okay, so we need to thread lock all those bolts first. You don't want too much, just a little blob like that. That's all you need. Obviously in focus is good. There you go, a bit like that. There you go, and it'll work its way around all the threads when we screw it in. You'd have to put thread lock all the way around. Okay. Last one. Job done. Shit. Where did I put the lid? There we are. Easy. Okay, back down to the wheel. Checked so many brake discs over the years. Oh, one thing you should check just before you put the brake disc on, like an idiot, like I did. Always make sure this area here is free from dirt and residue, because otherwise your disc won't sit dead flat. It's very important it's nice and clean. This one is, it's pretty good. So pop those in. Always start them by hand as well, you don't want to chew up those threads in the hub. That would cause a major problem. There we go. Easy. In fact, I wonder if we can speed the job up a bit with this, using the old 10 screwdriver thing. There we go, look. Now just do them all snug first. Again, we've got to tighten them up in order, otherwise the disc could end up not being properly seated, and that would affect the run out of the disc. Super. Okay, now the torque setting is 23 Newton meters, as we found out, so we'll just give these a bit of a tweak. We're not going to do them for 23 to start off with. Just going to, oh, okay, apart from that one, 23 is not a lot. There we go. And then we'll go around and just torque them all up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Job done. Right, to the bike. Okay, well, refitting the front wheel is pretty damn simple. You've got a spacer here which needs to go in. It goes all the way in and then it sits upon the seal. So we'll just leave it there for now. Get the front wheel spindle, and this one's pretty well greased up, so I'm not going to bother re-greasing it. Just put it in from the right hand side, lift the wheel a little bit, and then feed it all the way through. Get it over the shoulder. There we go. And then we can start those threads. Perfect. Okay. It's always good to start them by hand first, so you don't damage the threads. Right, over to the right hand side and we'll get it torqued up. Oh, before we do that though, we need to tighten up these pinch bolts. So before we do that, we'll put a little bit of thread lock on them, just to be on the safe side. Can't beat a little bit of thread lock. One. Two. Easy. Now the tightening torque for these is 23 Newton meters. We have a torque wrench just ready to do that. And you should always do them up evenly. Excellent. Right, let's head round to the side and do up the axle. Okay, 100 Newton meters for this. Now the manual says to fit the calipers before we tighten the wheel spindle, but I've got new pads to fit and that's going to be a whole different video, so I'm leaving the calipers off for now. There we go. Right, 100 Newton meters, here we come. Oh, next one I reckon. There we go. Perfect. We'll get our torque wrench back to 23 Newton meters for those other pinch bolts. 40. 23, there we go. Okay, more thread lock required. That's one. Put it back in the hole. Two. Easy. Right, lid back on. And 23 Newton meters. And again, do them up evenly. Super job. Right, so don't forget to back off your torque wrench. Critical. Okay. One last thing to do, and that's clean off the residue off that new brake disc. Now that rubbing noise is just the hydraulic hose, the flexi hose rubbing against the tyre at the moment. Make sure you've got a nice clean rag for doing this job. It's really important that you do clean the discs off because there's like a grease usually on the discs that stops them from corroding in transit. Whilst they've been stored in the bike shop, no doubt, or a warehouse. If you don't remove it, it gets onto your brake pads and it acts like a lubricant and it reduces the braking force that these big powerful discs can give, so you don't have quite such sharp brakes. It's not so good. Not with a bike like this. Might even cause them to squeal, and that's really annoying. I don't know if you get brake fluid on your brake disc and your brake pads, it squeals and it's nasty. There we go. Well, crew, that brings us to the end of this video, which was just covering how to replace a front brake disc, or the brake discs in a pair, which you should be doing really, on a 1999 GSXR 750, and that's a Suzuki, obviously. Now, hopefully you found this video helpful, and there'll be lots more videos continued in the work on this bike. And the next video is going to be replacing the brake pads in the front calipers, and then refitting those calipers to the bike. If you want to subscribe, then click on the icon, the little profile picture, I think it is now that YouTube do, up in the top corner, and then you can subscribe, and our friends down at YouTube will send you emails as and when I upload any new videos, provided of course you turn on the notifications. You'll also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Google+, and Twitter. And there's a new Patreon account as well, so check that out. There's lots of information on there as well. Quite different to the YouTube channel, a bit of behind the scenes stuff and things that are coming up in the future. Okay, crew, well, until next time, cheers, over and out. Hey, Tool Girl Sam. How are you?
Back.
You're back! Fantastic.
So long.
I know, and I've got a new shirt, so I thought it's only right that I give you a new shirt too, so there you go.
So excited for my new shirt, and I don't have to wear different shirts every day. And as a classic Tool Girl Sam move, I am going to wear it like this. Wow, would you look at that? I'd say that is a great present for your girlfriend if she's into tools. If she's not, she's probably into tools because you're a tool. See what I did there? Tool girl shirt, perfect.